Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're unpacking some crucial insights from the Europe 2025 Weather Extremes Outlook. It's a pretty comprehensive look at what Europe and also the West Russia North Caucasus region might be facing, specifically between June 26th and July 6th, 2025.
Right, and what's really striking here, I think, is how the report pulls together these long-range and seasonal models. It highlights two quite distinct, but as you'll see, sort of interconnected major risks for that summer period.
Okay, two distinct but linked risks.
Oh,
that sounds, well, significant. So let's take the first one. What's the immediate forecast saying about this looming heat wave across Europe? What kind of scale are we looking at?
Well, the main signal is for widespread warmer than normal conditions. So yeah, a significant potential for heat waves, particularly across Western, Central, and Southern Europe. Just to give you a concrete example, Paris could be looking at temperatures climbing to maybe 99, 102 Fahrenheit. That's around 37, 39 Celsius. And that peak would be around June 30th, July 1st.
Wow, 102 Fahrenheit in Paris. I mean, that's definitely not typical early summer weather, is it? What's driving that? Is it just general warming? Or are there specific weather patterns making it so intense?
It's primarily these dominant high-pressure systems settling over the area. That's the main driver identified. And that naturally leads to, less rainfall and much drier conditions across large parts of Western, South Central, and Southern Europe. But what's quite interesting is this east-west contrast the report mentions regarding rain.
Oh, how so?
Well, while most of those areas are dry, places like the UK, Ireland, maybe parts of the Mediterranean could actually see above normal rainfall. So it's not uniform dryness everywhere, a real split.
Okay, so widespread heat and dryness for many, but potentially wetter conditions on the western fringes. And then at the same time, we've got this completely different risk popping up over in the West Russia North Caucasus region. What's happening there?
Yeah, over there, the concern is quite different. It's a risk of severe but localized convective storms. We're talking intense thunderstorms, basically. Heavy rain, potentially hail, strong winds. The report is clear, though. This isn't like a continuous days-long storm system. It's more intermittent, very localized flare-ups, although it does flag a notably higher chance for a significant event around July 5th specifically.
Localized but severe.
Yeah.
What kind of impacts do those storms typically have in that region? Are we talking flash floods mainly?
That's definitely a major risk, yes, flash floods, but also significant agricultural damage from hail is a big concern there. And of course, localized damage to infrastructure from those strong winds. So while not as widespread as the heat wave, the local impacts can be quite serious.
Right. So we've got these two big forecast elements, this intense heat across a huge swath of Europe, and then these potentially damaging localized storms further east. And the report connects these dots, doesn't it? It says pretty clearly these aren't just random weather quirks. It links their increased likelihood, their intensity, to anthropogenic climate change.
Absolutely, unequivocally. And this fits into the bigger picture. We have to remember, Europe is actually the fastest warming continent on the planet. The temperatures there have risen at roughly twice the global average rate since the 1980s.
Twice the global average. That's quite a statistic.
It is. It means the baseline has fundamentally shifted.
And to put some numbers on that shift for you, think about that forecasted June 2025 England heat wave. The report estimates it's something like 100 times more likely to happen now, and it could be 2 to 4 degrees Celsius more intense because of climate change. And just the chance of the UK hitting 40 degrees Celsius, 104 Fahrenheit, that likelihood has shot up over 20 times since the 1960s. It really changes how you perceive summer.
It really does. And for the storms, it's a bit more complex with wind speeds, so the link there isn't quite as robustly detected yet. But for heavy precipitation events, climate change has definitely increased both the likelihood, roughly doubled it, and the intensity, by about 5% more intense rainfall in Central Europe, for example.
And these aren't just abstract risks on a chart. They have very real consequences, don't they? I mean, the report mentions projections of heat-related deaths reaching maybe 30,000 annually in Europe, with just 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming. And on the storm side, flooding alone accounted for, 85% of storm and flood damages across Europe just in 2024. That's massive economic and human impact.
Exactly. Now, of course, we need to acknowledge the uncertainty inherent in any long-range forecast. Pinpointing the exact timing and location of a localized storm weeks out is always tricky. But what this outlook provides is high confidence in the overall trends. The elevated background risk, driven by climate change, is clear. It's less about predicting July 5th down to the hour and more about understanding the much higher probability of these kinds of events now.
Okay, so it's about understanding this new, riskier playing field we're on. So wrapping this up, what's the core takeaway here? Your sources seem to point towards a real urgency.
Definitely. It underscores the need for continuous monitoring, for one, but also proactive planning. Things like heat health action plans need to be robust. Severe weather preparedness needs to be stepped up. And, crucially, accelerating investment in broader climate resilience.
Right. It's not just about weathering one bad summer or reacting to one flood anymore. It feels like a call for a fundamental shift in how we approach this.
That's precisely it. This emerging new normal really demands a continuous, almost transformative approach to adaptation. We need to move beyond just reacting after an event happens. We have to proactively prepare for a future that is consistently hotter and, in some places, yes, wetter and more volatile across Europe. So perhaps the real question this leaves for you is, knowing this, knowing that what used to be extreme is fast becoming the baseline, how does that change your perspective or perhaps even your plans moving forward?